Today we're talking to Tony Laing. Tony, tell us a bit about your background and your history with the subsea industry, please.
Sure, Gordon. I've been involved in industry since '82, having moved from the defence industry. Today I'm an independent consultant, a consultant in commercialising technology to growing technology companies and advisor to investments houses as well. Prior to that, I have worked for super major companies like Subsea, Framo Engineering as regional director, and Marathon Oil, niche consultancy called Boreas Consultant, now part Atkins. What is now known as ACCA, and going back far enough was FSL in the good old days, shall we say. And I've covered a range of developments within developing technology and developing businesses in that space. This has also included commercialisation of technology. And today, I'd like to share you some of that with my views for the future. We have to take a more integrated approach, and we have to accept that some of the challenges that are in technology and in the assets cannot be looked at as a single entity. I'll give you an example of that. We design infrastructure for the pressure and temperatures and the process regime of the known factors at the design phase. Often these known factors are not necessarily the factors once we go into production, and there's certainly all this changes during the life cycle. So technologies for late life and early life can be completely different. And if you look at the inspection side of things, whether that's inspection with reference to the process side of things, pipe work, separators, etc., much of that can be unmanned now. We should be focusing on unmanned operations. That is not to decry the requirement for personnel, but moving the personnel shift. We did that 35 years ago, moving into the subsea sector, where we no longer needed platforms or host facilities. And we need to do that with reference to inspection, repair, maintenance. When you consider the automotive industry, we drive around in cars nowadays, they tell you your tyre pressure, they tell you the exact date of when you need a service. They tell you if simple things like that, which we take for granted. Can we achieve the same culture within the oil and gas business to the same degree? Well, at the moment we've got limited technology for corrosion and insulation. There are some very good companies out there that can offer things in that space, but they're all at the early stages, and we need to get that embracement. There are other companies which have other similar technologies or other technologies that can inspect under insulation. However, do they get the right level of granulation of what's there? And that's often the challenge.
Yeah.
To give the appropriate decision making. It's all about uncertainty and risk. We've grown to see some very, very interesting technologies getting used in the deep water assets, particularly with ones where there's requirements for lift. We've seen that with, if you take likes of some of the operators like Total, Statoil, Chevron, etc. They're all using boosting systems to give them that artificial lift. That's something I'm obviously very familiar with from my Framo days. What we do need to do is think differently for the UKCS. There are technologies out there, some very niche technologies and neat technologies, which are more appropriate to small field developments. They could even be applied to 1 or 2 wells. We don't need big, complex systems.
Any other game-changing technologies that you think are needed?
Well, I think the key thing...
So boosting is what you're saying.
So there's 2 aspects when we're looking at assets. If you look at, particularly if we take UKCS, it's mature assets, high production of water. We need to look at cost-effective ways of how we can manage that water, whether that's topside or whether it's an appropriate cost economic level of separation.
Subsea at the point.
Subsea at the well or at the commingled
or even
asset.
in the reservoir.
or in the reservoir, absolutely, where we can actually manage this so that we can actually take these assets and have them delivered to other hosts, which may not be able to handle the water or the process regime. You don't want to get rid of all that, all the water, of course, because you need so much water to assist you with certain aspects of process management. But that's an A example. Likewise, you can see with the gas. So you've got liquid to gas separation, which is two-phase, and then you've got three-phase when you actually remove the water. So the fact is that you don't need all of this. You may need one. It may be advantageous for two. We don't have to have everything gold-plated. We've seen a number of projects worldwide being, using different technologies in different ways. Some of them have been what you would call pilot projects by major operators and have come suitably, as you'd expect with pilot projects, with a large busting. We have to stop thinking everything is expensive, because it doesn't have to be. It should be fit for purpose, and we need to get down to that level of granulation.
Good. Thanks for speaking to us today, Tony. Thank you.
Well, thank you.